Lisa, you want to weigh in?
I also really believe in learn by doing. And so one of the things that we do when we take on a project, like we had an author event a year ago, and the author turned out was supposed to go across Canada and she couldn't come. She was ill and she was in California, but she was well enough to stay in California. So we took on hosting a live streamed event, which a year ago, trust me, with no money, this is quite high tech here, it was a bit of a struggle. But in the process, we learned what the complications, what had to be done. We did hire someone to help us, but we had to figure it out. And it's the same thing that's going on with this app and doing in the mobile space. We're launching some of the pages of our website to be mobile friendly in order to be compatible with the app. So you learn by doing. And my team quite often is very excited about this, the core team, but I also sometimes get anxious because we're doing things all the time that we don't really know what we're doing because we've never done it before.
So you have to
but we learn by doing. And the only other last thing I would say is that we started something that I underestimated how powerful and important it was going to be, but we started about 2 months ago. We started every Tuesday morning. We have 15 minutes towards being digital. And one of us on the team, usually on the digital team, stands up and talks about anything that's digital. So Facebook for 15 minutes, Google AdWords for 15 minutes. We show some of the ones we do. And everyone in the company is encouraged to do it, to come into the big room and to hear us do it. And we also record it, whether it's a PowerPoint with just audio narration or sometimes we video it. And so these things, and it's amazing how much more people are comfortable with the language when we say something in a publishing meeting about we're going to run Google AdWords. Now they have sort of a better concept of what that's all about.
Nice. Michael, I want to start into the back end of this 45 minutes that we have, and I really want to look at, get the panel to start talking about, like, how would you guys work together? Let's take the 5 of you and your companies. How does RIM work with Michael? And Michael, how do you work with Pete? And in terms of cross-media, those are the questions we sort of have going forward, and that's why we put together the panel like this, is that we want, we need some suggestions. Obviously, there's issues. You all are big companies and that sort of stuff, but I think it would be interesting to have that discussion now about how, Michael will work with RIM. You want to go ahead?
It just occurred to me just about 2 minutes ago as I'm looking at our panel here, and I'm the only person here on this panel who's creating content. Everybody else here is bringing that content to the marketplace, and the whole...
Well, wait a minute, Lisa, you create content.
Except that I would agree with him because I have to give credit to the authors who are producing the real content.
Nice.
We would like to think that the publishers are authors,
Sorry,
but
Michael.
we're not.
And I guess the point that I was trying to make is that this whole transition for digital media, and I've been a part of this dialogue now for almost 2 decades because we've always inherently been that way, is something that's very familiar to me, and I see the people who work alongside me in digital media, and this is a difficult time, quite honestly, because the business models are changing and the distribution methods are changing, and no one has the right answer. No one knows how we're going to be consuming content in 5 years. If someone says they know, they're wrong, because it can go anywhere. So that's why there's a lot of anxiety in this whole space around that. From my perspective, I just want to say that my business model is to be able to make superior content, to put together the best teams, and at the end of the day, if I can do that, there'll always be people like this here to bring my content out there, whatever the platform is.
Pete?
Yeah, so I mean, we do create
Sorry
content.
to put you on the spot.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I mean, and in some capacity, I'd like to work with Michael. It doesn't sound like he's on the mobile platform yet, but when you get there. But I think that Random House is something we're going to talk after, and we already work.
Oh, wait a minute! Whoa, you're going to talk after? What are you going to talk about? No, seriously.
And so
we put you together. I think we should find out.
And so, we already work with Google. I mean, RIM's actually developed applications for Google, and that's when I say that, we already do some of the creative, as well as we have teams at RIM that are actually, directly involved in the development of applications, that are helping to sort of push some of these technologies forward. So in the case, it might be Google Search or Maps or so forth, or the chat and so on. And then, of course, with Akamai is that, we have partner applications that are sitting on top of, using our operating system to get their media out through various applications, and even, myself through some things I've worked on. I worked on our YouTube project and was actually the creative project manager for that application, and got that out and worked with the band on that, along with a lot of other apps as well. And so, So, so it's I like to think that it's easy for me to go, yeah, I can work with everybody here and probably a lot of people out there.
Well, I'm sorry to put you and Michael on spot. I do want to go to questions in the audience. I'm sure there must be some. There's some mics rolling around. Anyone have a question? No questions? Great. Okay. Anna, can we just grab a mic? Have we got a mic for Anna up here, please? Priya, right at the front.
I can scream.
You have to stand up and scream.
Okay.
But now Priya's here, so you can have a mic.
Great. So just to add to that question, who do you guys think drives the integration? Because does content drive integration? Does the producer, whoever that producing body is, drive integration? Which of the platforms in that hierarchy is the most important? Obviously in Canada with the Bell New Media Fund, TV has always been the dominant platform / driver. In your opinion, what's
Lisa, I'm going to give that to
happen?
you first, and then we'll probably go to...
I can have an answer.
You don't have an answer? Who has an answer?
What do you mean by integration?
Chris.
What's that?
I'm just
What do you mean?
referring to their cross-media integration.
Oh,
idea.
through across different platforms,
Yeah,
et cetera?
yeah.
Who's driving it?
Well, I mean, I think it's a combination of like the content. Where is it going to be able to go out and find an audience, and what's the best way to go out and do that, and what are the business economics behind it? Some of the things we were talking about before. It's not necessarily if they're losing money and they actually see people actually wanting to grab it from different platforms. They're going to have to adjust and be able to actually serve it to people because they're going to go out and grab it anyway.
But, I mean,
That's
Chris,
what I was going to say, something about the fact that I kept thinking of it the other way around, which is not any of us driving it. I really believe that we're in the age where it's about the consumer. They're driving it. And so we're producing things that we believe somebody wants. And I would say to you, on some levels, we are a little concerned about these glorious enhanced ebooks that we're producing, that maybe they're a bit crazy. Maybe people still just want text and to read the story, and they don't want to be interrupted with all this other stuff. So much of that is an experiment. But we're being driven by what we believe is sellable and what the consumers want us to
I mean, the
create.
interesting side of this is that I just finished reading The Facebook Effect, which is the David Kirkpatrick book all about Facebook. And when you realize that Mark Zuckerberg was doing is he says he doesn't care about any of that stuff. All he cares about is what the consumer wants. So I think you're right there. But he has always taken growth over advertising. He doesn't care about the advertising. He's always cared about the UI and the growth of users.
Sure.
Is that what people should be doing? Is that going out there, putting up their content and trying to get as many users and worry about the money later?
Absolutely.
Well, that's what they have been doing.
Yeah.
So, for instance, like the Hulu example.
No, but I guess I got to stop you here because every time, I mean, I know I'm guilty of it, and part of the deal is that, where's the revenue? Where's the revenue? Where's the revenue?
Mm-hmm.
So if you're working, if you have a company and you need to spend time on digital, it's hard to take it away from money that's coming in to say, I got to spend all this time on giving away stuff for free that hopefully down the road I'm going to make some money off, and I'm not going to be the next Facebook. Let's be realistic. Is that the way to go forward?